sharply yesterday. Uh, Various banks corrected anywhere between 10 to 25% over there. Of these, Western Alliance Bank declined by 15%, Westpac Bank declined by 28%, and Metropolis Bank declined by 20%. And there were some other banks also which were declining 10 to 12%. All these are regional small banks which were correcting. So we saw on Friday, one of the large bank in the small banks, that is Republican Bank, uh, was taken over by the government, by the authority over there, and then it was taken over by JP Morgan. But thereafter, the other problem with the other bank continued even yesterday. Uh, so the problem is that the deposit is not still draining from these banks, and that is creating some problem. Uh, Let us see today. Fed is meeting is there, and whether they come up with any uh, further support to all these banks. Uh, Fed today is expected to increase interest rate by around 25 basis point and give some indications of where the interest rate is moving from here. So that is what factored in, but the key thing is now one to be watched is this problem with all these small banks in the US market. So even Asian markets taking clue from US are showing some negative sign. Today, China and Japan are closed, but all other markets are down anywhere between 0.5 to 1%. So we had seen good run up in Indian market as well in last few days. So we may also see some profit booking in Indian market as well, taking clue from the international market and ahead of Fed meeting uh, expectations. Apart from that, oil corrected very sharply yesterday. Oil came up by almost around $4, considering that the slowdown in the international market is near and will be having impact on the demand for the oil as well. Apart from that, even iron and steel were also down by around 1% today morning in China. I'll request technical team to take up from here.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning, all of you. So in yesterday's market, we have seen a positive opening, but it was a flattish move throughout the day. And as sir has mentioned, that Indian markets have given a very strong rally from last 4-5 trading sessions, and there is a resistance of 18,180 with Nifty has taken yesterday. And we feel there's going to be a gap down opening today as taking the cues from the global markets, and we feel a profit booking session in today's market scenario. So immediate support for Nifty is placed at 18,080. Once 18,080 levels are broken, then 18,000 level will be a very important support level, which is also Nifty's psychological support level. Once that is broken, 17,930 can be seen. Whereas on the flip side, 18,220 and 18,300 will work as a very strong resistance zone for Nifty. It is going to be a difficult time to reach 18,300 sessions. Whereas moving on to Bank Nifty has shown a similar sideways pattern in yesterday's session. Bank Nifty has shown a similar sideways pattern in yesterday's session, and it has ended on a weaker note only. So immediate support for Bank Nifty is placed at around 43,140. Once that is broken, then 42,800 to 42,500 levels can be tested in the coming days. Whereas on the contrary, the immediate resistance for Bank Nifty is placed at 43,640, followed by 44,000. To move higher, 44,000 needs to be broken on the closing basis. Moving on to Nifty Financial Services, it was a flattish closing to around 19,200. Immediate support for this index is placed at 19,200. 19,150, followed by 19,080. Whereas the immediate resistance for this index is placed at 19,420, followed by 19,640. Stock specific, we feel it's going to be a very stock specific market. It is going to be a conditional buy call, which is Power Grid. Once it starts trading above 240 to 41 levels, then only you can take a buy call for a target of 254 by keeping a strict stop loss of 233. That's all from my side. I request Nirav to take the call forward.
Yeah, thank you, Ayush. On the derivative front, looking at the overall open interest has increased yesterday by almost 10%. Also, the VIX has increased by about 8 odd percent. That means some shorts were built up yesterday. However, nothing to worry at this point of time, because the data is still comparatively positive. 18,000 put holds the highest put base. The PCR is above 1, but just above 1. So nothing to worry. It is not at the overbought zone. Neither is the open interest very alarmingly large. Neither is VIX going above the 15 level. So all in all, the data is still positive. But yes, there are first signs of some short built up yesterday. So one should keep watch. If Nifty closes below 18,000 odd levels, that is when, some selling will come in, some aggressive selling will come in. Until then, don't nothing to worry. One should continue to hold longs with the 18,000 as your stop loss. From the stock specific front, still we are seeing good buying action in PSU stocks. ONGC continues to witness good buying. Even though it will open a little down today, but we will see it bounce back again. Even Coal India, for that matter, looks very good. We are seeing good buying in REC, PFC, and GNFC. So all in all, the PSU stocks will continue to do well, and once we settle today, we will see some bounce coming in PSU stocks at least. So look out for the same. They should do well in the next few days. So that's it from my side. I'd like to ask the fundamental team to take over, please.
Good morning. On the results front, Spandana Sphoorti financial result has improved. AUM grew by almost 30%, and the company has guided for 35% growth in current year as well. Net NPA reduced sharply from 2.5% to 0.6% only now. This was because the company sold almost a huge chunk of its loans, almost 133 crore portfolio to ARC during Q4. So now residual pain seems to be nothing as such, and that is why they have guided for credit cost of with an upper cap of 2%, and already they have been posting ROA of 4.5%, normalized ROA, since last couple of quarters. So we think that can be maintained going forward as well. And looking at the growth and ROA, ROE metrics, we think company is quite cheap at 1.5 times price to book compared to industry leader who trades at almost twice the valuation. So we are positive on Spandana Sphoorti. Home First Finance result improved marginally. Loan growth momentum continued with 34% year-on-year growth and 7% sequential. However, NIM has declined from 6.4 to 6.1%. Company had indicated last quarter that they would prioritize growth over margins. So that has now reflected. And this quarter, if we see numbers on the profit side, look decent quarter on quarter as well as year on year. But if we exclude the bit of higher other income that was there during the quarter, then quarter on quarter numbers look flattish. And on asset quality side, improvement continued. Net NPA now every quarter it has been reducing. Currently is at 1.1%. From near-term perspective, we think there will be pressure on NIMs further. So stock might remain sideways, but from long-term perspective, we remain positive. Thank you.
Good morning. Auto Numbers announced its sales numbers for the month of April 23. The numbers showed a mixed performance across segments. The PV segment witnessed a 12% growth YOY, with M&M and Tata Motors being at the top in the industry sales. Maruti Suzuki had a single-digit growth of 6% YOY, with entry segment vehicles being affected. New model launches will continue to keep competitive intensity high in the UV segment. Two-wheelers overall volume declined by 8% month on month and remained flattish on a YOY basis. Bajaj Auto remained a standout performer by reporting overall sales improvement of 17% month-on-month and approximately 2% YOY. Demand for entry-level motorcycle continued to remain weak, with Hero MotoCorp reporting a decline of 24% month-on-month and 6% YOY. EVs continue to see greater adoption in both two-wheelers as well as PV segments. Tata Motors EV sales grew by almost 180% YOY in April 23 to 6,516 units. On the other hand, TVS iQube EV reported sales of 6,227 units in April 23 versus 1,420 units sold last year. Tractor sales were weak in April 23 with volumes declining by 11% YOY and 3% month-on-month, mainly due to advanced purchases amid early arrival of key festivals. In CVs, overall volumes declined by 42% month-on-month and 5% YOY due to higher pre-buying in March 23 ahead of OBD Phase 2 norms kicking in from 1st April 2023. The biggest drop in CV volume was reported by Tata Motors at 52% month-on-month, down 28% YOY, followed by 48% month-on-month and for Ashok Leyland. However, we believe that the MHCV volume continued to pick up pace, led by continued infrastructure push, better freight rates, and higher replacement demand. Thank you.
Good morning. Yesterday, Varun Beverages announced results, and results were above expectations. The revenue grew by 37.7% YOY, which was largely driven by the robust volume growth of 24.7%, and increase in net realization of around 10.4%. The domestic volumes grew by 28%, and the increase in net realization was largely primarily due to the price hike in selected SKUs taken towards the end of the quarter and continued improvement in the mix of smaller SKUs. The operating margins were improved, followed by gross margin improvement, which were largely on account of marginal savings in raw material prices and improved product mix. EBITDA margins for the quarter stood at 20%. The stock is trading at a PE of 41.4 times to FY24 EPS. Thank you.
Yeah, yesterday Tata Steel announced results, and results were ahead of expectation, mainly driven by India operations. European operations were below expectations. Europe reported EBITDA per ton loss of $95, whereas the expectation was $75. Whereas India operation has shown a considerable increase in EBITDA per ton, and standalone volume EBITDA per ton came in at 16,300 rupees versus expectations of 15,400, almost 1,000 rupees higher. Q on Q last quarter it was 11,200 rupees. So there was an improvement in EBITDA per ton that was mainly driven by higher volume. The volume came in at 7.8 million ton consolidated, but standalone 4.98 versus expectation of 4.60. And also there was a benefit on the raw material cost side, which has come off. So we are seeing that the coking coal and the iron ore prices both are correcting sharply, whereas the steel prices corrections are gradual and not reducing to that extent along with the prices of the raw material. So there is a lag in between that, and that is supporting the results of the Tata Steel in this quarter also, and are likely to continue even in the next quarter as well. So overall seems reasonably positive from here. Nothing not very positive as steel prices are correcting. So in the correcting prices, generally the stock doesn't perform very well. But anyhow, raw material cost is also correcting. So their EBITDA per ton is likely to remain stable or likely to show some improvement. So overall outlook is positive for Tata Steel. Then Ambuja Cement announced result, and that was also below expectations. The volume came in at 8.1 million ton versus expectation of 7.9 and last quarter 7.9. But EBITDA per ton declined to came in at 973 versus expectation of 1060. So almost 90 rupees lower than expectations. And last quarter though it was at 813. So there was an improvement as compared to last quarter, but the improvement was not to the extent as expected in the market. That was mainly because of the lower realization than expected. In fact, the realization came off or declined as compared to last quarter. So that has impacted the EBITDA per ton. So overall result was below expectations, and valuation are also at reasonably fairly priced at 17 time FY24 EV by EBITDA. So nothing so great opportunity from here for stock to run up from here. So outlook is neutral to may see some decline also in the near term. Now, results for 5th of May. Alembic Pharma is likely to report numbers, and numbers are likely to be okay. Quarter on quarter, though there is some marginal corrections in the margins from 16.5 to 15.7, but there was last quarter some marginal increase, higher margin has come. That's why there is a decline visible. So result is likely to be okay. Blue Dart result is likely to show declining trend. Margins quarter on quarter is further coming off and likely to decline by almost around 40-50 basis point. And revenue quarter on quarter, because of the seasonally strong quarter December, is also likely to come off. Year on year, revenue is likely to grow by around 9%. So result will be declining. Marico industry, again, right, result is likely to be okay. Revenue likely to grow by around 4% and EBITDA by around 14% year on year. And margins quarter on quarter may see some marginal decline as compared to 18.5, 17.6 expected. Then Ajanta. Then Bharat Forge is likely to report number. Bharat Forge results are likely to show improving trend, wherein EBITDA and revenue both are likely to increase by almost around 21 to 22%. Britannia is also likely to report improving set of numbers with revenue growth of around 14.5% and EBITDA growth of 30% year on year. Gujarat Fluoro is also likely to report improved set of numbers. Quarter on quarter, there will be increase of around 3% in revenue and 4% in EBITDA. Year on year, it will show substantial improvement. Then Federal Bank is likely to report numbers. Numbers are likely to be more of a flattish quarter on quarter. Quarter on quarter revenues, NII is likely to grow by around 1% and PBP is also likely to grow by around 1%. So more of a flattish set of number from Federal Bank. Then result for 6th, that is Saturday. So Bank of India is likely to report number. Numbers are likely to be more of a improving trend as all other PSU banks are indicating. And Union Bank is also more of a similar trend is likely to be visible in that number as well. So that's all from us, and now request the commodity team to take up from here.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So in yesterday's session, we had seen gold breaching the resistance area of 60,500 and is closed above that. So the momentum could be positive, and one can buy around 60,500 to 450 levels and maintain a stop loss of 60,150. On higher end, 60,900 to 61,000 is the target we are looking for. However, one should be cautious as tonight after the market there is a Fed meet and the interest rate hike decision, and also to note the commentary. So yesterday, I mean tomorrow could be a gap up, gap down situation. So keep it the position for intraday only. And similarly, silver also one can buy around 76,000 to 75,800 and maintain a stop loss of 75,400. On upside, 77,000, 77 to 200, where we are looking to witness profit taking. Uh, crude oil witnessed a major sell off yesterday, and it may continue. So selling on rise is recommended. Selling around 5970 to 6000 is recommended. Prices are weak below 6050 levels, and we can expect prices to test 57 7 and 5770 to 5730 levels on downside. uh, Natural gas, we are witnessing range bound movement from 175 to 190 93 levels. So on a downside, prices are supportive at 178 175. So for a pullback one can buy and keep a stop loss of 175, and similarly on rise 190 193 one can also initiate a sell and keep a stop loss of 198. In metal front, yesterday we had witnessed weakness, and this may continue. Prices in copper are weak below 740, so selling around 740 is recommended and maintain a stop loss of 745. Prices are expected to test 730 on lower end, 730 to 28 on lower end. Similarly, zinc also weakness could be below 230, 234, and as long as it is sustaining below 232, one may witness some sell off till 230 to 228 levels on downside. So selling on rise is recommended for the day. That's it from me. I'll ask Utkarsh to take over from here.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning, all of you. In USD INRs, one can create short position for the intraday purpose. If we get some levels around 81.90 to 81.95 levels with a strict stop loss of 82.06 levels, or the target of 81.78 and 81.474 levels. And for buying purpose, one can initiate also buying around 81.75 levels with a strict stop loss of 81.63 levels, for the target of 81.86 and 81.92 levels. In Euro NR, one can initiate long positions around 90.24 to 90.14 levels with a stop loss of 89.94 levels, for the target of 40.40 and 40.90.45 levels. In JBP INR, we are witnessing that price is sustaining in a symmetrical triangle. So one can initiate long positions around 102.04 levels with a stop loss of 101.80, for the target of 102.40 levels. Thank you.